Welcome everybody. As always, I'm going to start this off with a quick little disclaimer. Check out the description below. There is a link to the very same Google Sheet that I use in all of my videos. It's super important, and you can check out all of the reworked moves and buffs and the fact that there are 130 plus custom brand new moves and everything. So yeah, definitely give that a look while you're looking at the Pokemon changes if you do choose to do that. Those are very important, and I don't want to go through every single little change in the videos because it takes up too much time. So speaking of time, I'm going to be talking about Cherrim, and these guys are super cool. So I want to make a quick little disclaimer again. I am personally actually not a fan of Grass Fire Cherrim. I think it's kind of stupid, but very late into when I was planning out all of the types and stuff for Pokemon, which of course are still subject to change, I realized that I was like 3 type combos away from having every type combo in the game. Hence why I changed Cradley's typing to match Nihiligo's typing, and then blah 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 blah. Like there's a reason I did that. It's because I was literally like I was missing maybe 3 or 4 type combos, and I was like, all right, I can make it happen. I can do every type combo then. And this is also a pretty commonly requested type combo for Cherrim anyways. Them and Sunflora. Sunflora is even stupider. Sunflora is fucking dumb to be fire type. I'm sorry. Cherrim, the only reason I'm making this exception is because it does have to be in the sun to change form. So you could argue that the fire typing is literally only from the power of the sun. It's kind of dumb, but number 1, it's really cool, and number 2, it's very strong, and it's also extremely unique, and it sets it apart from the other, grass type sun abusers, because otherwise it would have been Grass Fairy, which is really good, but kind of boring and just less unique. But Grass Fairy obviously fits, you could argue, even better than Grass Fire. But really important things here. So I'm going to talk about the pre-evolutions and stuff later at the second half of the video, but first I want to quickly remind people what Flower Gift does if you don't know. Flower Gift gives you a free Choice Band boost and a free Assault Vest boost. So, despite the fact that Sunshine Form has great stats to begin with. 110 speed might seem kind of fast, but if you look here on the screen, you can see my little man just dancing around. They look pretty damn quick to me in their animation, so that's why I figured 110 speed is pretty fair. I mean, anywhere from 100 to 110 fits in my opinion. And that's just really awesome, but the most important thing is, again, you get that Choice Band and Assault Vest boost. So not only do you have 112 special attack and 110 speed, you also have that 70 base attack, which might seem lackluster, becomes fucking insane. So I've already done the math beforehand. So with a neutral nature and max attack investment, your attack is equivalent to your special attack. It's actually slightly higher. You're roughly equivalent to base 113 attack. So you're extremely powerful on both ends. And keep in mind, in this ROM hack, you do have access to infinite EV training items. So you can easily just switch around your EVs at, whenever you need it. So one boss fight, you might run on a physical set. The next, you might run on a special set. It's really as simple as that, okay? But the other amazing thing, so not only do you have 113 base attack, but if you have a plus attack nature, if you got like a lonely nature or an adamant nature or any plus attack nature for that matter, your attack is equal to base 130. With that Flower Gift boost. So it's huge. It's really strong. It may be 129 actually, if you want to be exact, but 129, 130, it's in between those two. If you want to go do the math and check it, if you don't believe me. It's really strong, okay? It's a very strong physical Pokemon, and then obviously the special attacks that is still great. He has Solar Blade, Solar Beam, Weather Ball, Revelation Dance, which I know it says here that it's Grass Fire, but in-game, in the files, it's Fire Grass, purely so it can have that stab fire type Revelation Dance if you don't want to run Weather Ball for whatever reason. Weather Ball having a 50% chance to drop. Weather Ball has a 50% chance to drop special defense, while Revelation Dance has a 50% chance to boost your special attack stat. The downside being Revelation Dance is not reteachable, while Weather Ball you can teach it whenever you want, so it's kind of up to you. And the only reason I basically had to give them a physical fire move as well. I didn't have to, but I wanted to. I'm not about to give fucking Cherrim Flamethrower. I hate ROM hacks that just slap like Flamethrower Sunflora. Like, how stupid is that? Like, it doesn't make any sense. How is this plant summoning like fire just out of it on its own? From the sun makes sense. Weather Ball makes sense, but there's no source of the power. The only reason I'm making an exception for Fire Lash is purely so that you can use physical Flower Gift with Fire Stab, and because the animation for Fire Lash is barely even fiery. It's like a little tiny baby whip of fire. So I was like, okay, I can make an exception for Fire Lash, and also it has Vine Lashes there too, and those two moves pair really well together. They always drop defense, Vine Lash is hitting twice, and they're both really strong, so that's really fun to use. But you have tons of other really cool stuff, which I'll get into. Blossom Dance, for example, gives you +2 speed and +1 to both your offensive stats. Swords Dance is obviously great. Growth obviously gives you +2 to both your offenses in the sun. Keep in mind, Setup PP is nerfed. Setup has much lower PP in this hack, so it's a lot harder to set up. Not to mention, the Climate is just a lot more hostile towards setup. There's a lot of anti-setup abilities and moves like Priority Roar, Priority Whirlwind, which are 3 PP, and a bunch of other stuff like Priority Heart Swap and Haze and Unaware, and all this stuff will be flying around to kind of make setup a little bit less free. Taunt will be pretty prevalent as well to stop you from setting up. So yeah, that being said though, still a great option to have that setup stuff. And the most important thing that I'm mad at myself for not mentioning this earlier, Flower Gift, like I said, not only does it give you that choice band boost, it also gives you an Assault Vest boost. So you already have 98 base special defense on Cherrim, which is already pretty damn solid. But when you factor in that boost, you are at astronomical levels. So with no special defense investment and a neutral special defense nature, you're at 348 special defense, which is roughly equivalent to base 109, I believe, with max investment. So for example, like a Calm nature base 109 sped F Pokemon with max investment, that's what your special defense is equal to. It's really fucking high. 348 is a good ass stat. Well, obviously it's level 100, but you guys, I'm putting it in perspective, okay? And when you invest in that special defense stat, it becomes even crazier. For example, with that Quiver Dance, or later on with that Blossom Dance, keep in mind Quiver Dance is only special attack and speed now. With that Blossom Dance, especially with that, or agility or something with that +2 speed, you don't have to run speed investment. So you can slap on max HP or max special defense, and with max special defense, oh my god, you are at like base 156 plus special defense. It's immense. It's huge. In fact, your special defense is equivalent to base 156 uninvested. So think about it as if you have like Florges level special defense uninvested, completely uninvested, which is immense considering how fast and strong you are. So that's great. And Firegrass is actually a pretty decent defensive typing. You have a lot of useful resistances and stuff. So, and you're also in the sun. So keep in mind, anytime Cherrim is functioning, it's in the sun. Another important thing I have to mention, if you go to the held item changes and buffs, so not only do you have the move sheet, the type chart changes, all that fun important stuff, speed tier, type changes, whatever. You also have a little held item change here guide that you should check out. And as you can see here, the Weather Rocks give more turns. So, because the vast majority of Pokemon have access to Parting Shot or U-Turn or Volt Switch, pretty much every Pokemon has at least one of those 3 moves for the most part, with Parting Shot being very common via TM. You can easily get off that Heat Rock Parting Shot, or Eject Button with Sunny Day. Eject Button being infinite use now, so you can really make use of... I should probably swap those 2 around and Eject Button at the end. That makes sense. So anyways, look, my point is that you can really get those 10 to 11 turns of Sun going. If you have a Drought Pokemon, I mean, that's even more free. Drought plus Switch Move plus Heat Rock means 10 full turns of setup in game, which is huge. I mean, in game that's massive because there's not as much switching around, so that lasts a really long time. This is also too big. This font is bugging me. It's huge, all right? That's really all. Oh crap! I'll fix it after the video. They just got so much fun stuff. And another thing I need to mention is that the pre-evolutions are not bad. Yes, you have good. Also, you have good coverage. I didn't mention. So you have that Firegrass, Dual Stab. You have Fairy. You have Earth Power. You have Uproar. You have Knockoff. Nothing too crazy because like nothing really makes sense for them to have. But they got all they needed. That Dual Stab plus Earth Power is already plenty, let alone with the Fairy coverage. And also, technically, you could run Natural Gift, which becomes any type in the game, but it's only single use, so it does require a lot of strategy to use, like a lot of planning. But yes, you can get like Natural Gift Ice and get 110 base power Ice Move or Electric or whatever the fucking type you want. So yeah, with that being said, the pre-evolutions, and also Cherrim Overcast form are also viable. You don't have to use Sunny form every fight. So while Cherrim Sunshine has that immense special defense stat in the sun, Cherrim Overcast form has an immense physical defense stat in the grassy terrain, which is now a TM. And of course, you can use Terrain Extender to last longer. You get the residual healing. You get the 50% boost from the terrain, making you really strong. And then you get that little residual healing. You can use Leech Seed as well. Floral Healing heals you by 2/3 on the grassy terrain. It's really good. You have stuff like Draining Kiss, Tickle, all kinds of great utility moves as well. Charm, blah, blah, blah. And that's just really good. I mean, you can use that with Grassy Guard whenever you want. You can just slap on that Grassy Terrain TM and set it up yourself, or of course you can use it on an ally. Many Pokemon get Grassy Terrain via TM, and then you can, like I said, use that Parting Shot or U-Turn into your Cherrim. So you don't always have to rely on the Sun. For example, if you're doing a Team Lock Nuzlocke and you can't switch around your team whenever you want, you might have a Cherrim on your team, but you actually don't want the Sun up for that boss fight. Say it hinders your other teammate. All right, then run Grassy Terrain or just run straight up plain old Cherrim. I mean, it has pretty solid stats. It's relatively tanky and it's pretty fast and pretty strong. Nothing award-winning, especially for by the standards of this hack. It's not really that great, but it's solid nonetheless, and you can definitely make use of it without the Sun up or the Grassy Terrain up. I don't like Pokemon that require that to be good. It seems very gimmicky. Cast form, even, I also made very good in its base form. So, yeah. that's about it. Cherubi has solar power instead of flower gift for obvious reasons, and that's really strong for early game because you have priority leaf flurry and you can set up the sun and just become super powerful, and you can heal up with your moves as well. You have synthesis via relearner. Oh, that's another thing. Synthesis plus that giant special defense stat on Cherrim Sunshine is great, healing you by 2/3, and that's reteachable, so you can teach that whenever you need it. It's not like a burden on your moveset to keep it 24/7. So that's also huge to have that synthesis. Like synthesis plus growth. Oh, it's got so much stuff. Giga Drain, that giant special defense stat is really helpful. So yeah, I'll leave it off there. These are some great buffs to these guys, and they are very useful in many different ways, not just the sun. I could cover a couple other things, but I'm honestly going to leave it off there. I mean, you have stuff like Floral Guard. Ingrain would be really good with Grassy Guard. Ingrain giving you a Calm Mind boost, but lowering your speed, and that gives you more residual healing. So in grassy terrain, plus with the Ingrain healing, plus with the physical defense boost from the Guard, plus with the special defense boost, you become super tanky. You can use Leech Seed and Protect, and in grassy terrain, you can just live forever, and it's super fun, because 85 base physical defense with Grassy Guard up is very high. So yeah, I'll leave it off there. Thank you so much for listening, and I hope you enjoyed it. Make sure you share this hack with friends if you find this type of thing interesting. Also, make sure you drop a like, and please subscribe to the channel if you listened this far into the video. That would be very helpful for me. Thank you so much, and goodbye.